Hey, welcome to another episode of The Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. Before we get into this segment, by the end of this video, I want you to do a few things for me. First of all, if you like the video, hit the like button. Please do. If you don't like it, hit unlike. It's okay. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Sometimes, as Jimmy Dole would say, you find yourself unsubscribed and you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell right next to it so you can be notified when a new video is being dropped. Whoop, there it is. And more importantly, the super chat will be on for this segment. So if you want to donate toward the efforts of Bob TV, that's freely up to you. Any amount will help toward the growth of this channel. My name is Robert Brown with The Rob Report. Let's get into it. Well, good day, good day. Welcome to another episode of The Rob Report. I'm your humble host, Robert Bob TV Brown. The Rob Report will always... well, I won't say always, but we're trying to get a regiment schedule of Wednesdays and Sundays at 11 p.m. Wednesdays and Sundays at 11 p.m. So it's Sunday right now, 11 p.m. This is the Rob Report. I'm your host, Bob TV. I'm going to have to go back to embracing my name. So you guys can go back to calling me Bob TV. I was trying to change it up to my real name. But no, Bob TV, that's my persona, that's my nickname, so you're welcome to go back to it. All right, so give me a second. How you guys doing today? It is a new year, it's 2021, and this is the year of aggression. If we want progression, we're going to have to be more aggressive. So we here always talk about progressives, being progressives, and pushing progressivism. And you do understand, in order for it to gain any traction, you're going to have to be aggressive. You have to put aggressivism. Now, some of you guys taking it to the extreme, and, you know, who am I to tell you what to do? Just letting you know some of this stuff can get you locked up for life, and I do not want you to be going through that stuff, so don't do some of these things. Case in point, some vandals went and vandalized Nancy Pelosi's and Mitch McConnell home. Now, am I for vandalism? I don't encourage nobody to outright go to jail, to commit a crime on purpose. Don't make yourself a criminal. And vandalizing somebody's home is a criminal act. But then I think about it. I understand why. I'm like Martin Luther King. I understand why people riot and things like that in the streets. It's because you're not hearing them. You're not hearing them. No matter how much you march, how much you try to protest, you're not hearing them. And the only way they can send you a message to hit you personally. Now, I don't endorse you going to punch nobody in the jaw and, you know, there go Mitch McConnell, pow! I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do nothing violent. But I'm looking at the way things used to be. The way you really get back at a leader of a government was violent. Violent, man. Today I'm going to talk about Nancy Pelosi. Shout out to people who went out there to the vigil for Julian Assange. Pushing hard for him not to be extradited into this country. It's going to do no good. I mean, let that man go. He's a journalist. He exposed you of your crime. You just need to do better. I mean, stop that. You know, it's like me, you know, people expose me for the dirty work that I do. And, you know, I'm not perfect. Hey, all I can do is add up and admit to it. What I look like getting mad at you because you exposed me of being a dirty dog, you know. And that's what's going on with the Stop the Movement. I mean, Stop Force the Vote, hashtag Force the Vote. People are getting exposed on who they really are, and you know, they're not really who they claim to be, and you can see it happen, all because we're trying to push people to force a vote. I just heard Cori Bush denied Nancy Pelosi the vote. Here you are, you got an opportunity to get some real things done. There's no better opportunity than this. Now is the time. Stop putting off tomorrow what you can do for today. Your today determines your tomorrow. Stop it. It's the old story of the shoe shine boy. The shoe shine boy used to just go up to your shoes aggressively and shine your shoe. You had to give him $5 or you felt bad. And the man got tired of doing that, so he came up with a scheme to get him not to pay $5. And the scheme is this: not today, tomorrow. That messed up that young kid's game. What do you mean today? It's always today. I'll always just do your shoes. You give me $5. Tomorrow. Tomorrow never come. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Start worrying about tomorrow. What you do today will determine your tomorrow. What Nancy Pelosi do today will determine her tomorrow. What Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, anybody in office, what they do today will determine what they do tomorrow. It's your actions today that will carry you toward the future. What you do today determines your tomorrow. Nancy Pelosi did not take advantage of the Donald Trump's negotiation between her and Steve Mnuchin. She decided that day we're not going to give Donald Trump any glory. He's not going to get any victory because I'm not going to put this up for a vote until he's out of office. And guess what? He was out of office, and because you lost your leverage, you couldn't even get something better. Because you found out that you was not going to win the House and the Senate like you thought you were. You lost seats in the House, and now you got to deal with a possible of losing the Senate again. Lost your leverage. You're going to negotiate for Mitch McConnell's skinny bill, which didn't have no kind of unemployment extension or extra checks to people. But they negotiated to get the $600. You are happy to save face. You and the rest of the punk politician Democrats want to join side with the punk politician Republicans to save face. We'll take the $600 deal. No unemployment on top of that. $300 on top of that. It's a down payment to Joe Biden getting in office. Like Joe Biden's going to do the left thing. Joe Biden ain't going to do left nothing. You tell him you're left, you're right, you're left in the military. He's still marching right. Going to get into this today because we're going to take a look at why Nancy Pelosi, why Mitch McConnell don't feel the need to do anything for you, and why they're challenging you to do something about it. Because they don't think you're going to do anything about it. They don't think you got enough balls, ovaries, chutzpah, guts to challenge them. They feel that you don't have what it takes to make them do anything. Why? Because you've been rolling over all this time. What's new? You take what we give you. You peons, you peasants, you take what we give you. We're 150. Look at this. Mitch McConnell is worth $35 million. $35 million. Mitch McConnell stays in a detachable townhouse. He's a spinwad. He's a thrifty. He is tight on the dollar. That's why he's like that about the deficit spending, because he's a cheapskate. He's a Scrooge. Mitch is going to do Mitch. It's not always about defeating the Democrats. It's about austerity. It's about catering to the people that got more money. They can bring in more money, so he believed. $35 million. $35 million. This is Mitch Holm. Mitch Holm was raided. They did protests outside the house, which I encourage everybody, go protest outside of people's homes, go protest outside of people's offices. Don't step on their property because you can get shot. And don't do this. I don't encourage nobody to vandalize these people's property. You can stand outside with a sign. You could be bold enough, put a sign in your yard. Where's my money? Mitch kills poor people. That's what it says on his wall. They spray painted it on his window. They spray painted it on his door. Where's my money? I mean, they went pimp language on him. Yo, where's my money? And the truth of the matter is, it is that person who spray painted that on his door is his money. That guy probably invested 20, 30, 40 years of taxes into the system, and when it's time for him to get something out of it, they want to play monkey around playing these money cheapskate games. At the same time, killing poor people. When you're worth $30 million, his house, 9 times out of 10, being a spin wad, his house is probably paid for. Don't owe a thing. Him being a spin wad, he probably got free solar panels from some company that's trying to push solar energy and trying to use Mitch McConnell as a poster boy so you get free stuff. He probably put the stuff in his yard where he's getting free electricity. In other words, Mitch McConnell is loaded. His house is paid for. He's getting a yearly salary of, I think, about $150,000 every year as a senator. He's old as dust. Look like a turtle. Look just like that turtle from Bugs Bunny. He's good. He has Cadillac health care because you gave it to him. Your tax dollars allow him the ability to get the best of the best health care. But he can't use your tax dollars to get you the best of the best health care. Oh, he hungry? He just go to the hall, Senate, and eat up. Or you can go to the favorite local restaurant and say, Mr. O'Connell, Mr. McConnell, just I'll be honored and proud to take a picture with you, put it on my wall. The meals is on me. Anytime you want to come to my restaurant, I got you, buddy. What about you? Can you get that at a restaurant? Can you leave out your house right now and go to the restaurant, take a picture with the owner of the restaurant, and they give you a free meal? No. The guy's right. Mitch kills poor people. Majority of Kentuckians are not getting paid. They're getting paid sucky wages. $7.25 is still the minimum wage in Kentucky. And Kentuckians keep voting this fool in. You're voting against your own progress. This man just denied you the opportunity of getting $2,000 one time, let alone a month. Where's my money? But wait, I'm not done. Look, let me get off Mitch, because I know your people love to blame Mitch for what's going on, and Mitch do take blame, but he ain't the only blame, because when you had an opportunity to get a deal, somebody decided to stall the deal for political purposes, trying to make somebody look bad, trying to get a win, and when she didn't get what she thought she was going to get out of the election, lost seats in the House, and right now we got to wait for a runoff for Georgia to see if Mitch still going to be the majority leader. But let's mosey over to Nancyville. Let's mosey over to Nancyville. They got her too. They took, I don't think that's pig blood. It may be pig blood, but it looked like paint. They put a pig's head and pig blood and put on her garage door, which is white, which can be painted over. $2,000, cancel rent. We want everything, and it has an Antifa sign. Now that could have been just by, people. It could have been a white supremacist that did that, trying to get Antifa in trouble. The bottom line is, whoever put that up there is right. You should be giving out $2,000 a month minimum until this crisis is over, and you should cancel everybody's rent. And nobody should have to pay back rent. Why? Because most of the building owners, most of the commercial building owners, most of the residential building owners, not talking about the tenants, most of the residential building owners are getting a stipend from the federal government to take care of that. They shouldn't be able to get paid double duty off of you. They get a big old stipend from the federal government to take care of the housing they're building, and then turn around and expect you to get back pay from you. That's not right. These people are sending a message to the people who are stalling progress. Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell. Well, how Nancy Pelosi is stalling progress? She should have took the deal, number one, of Trump, but she talking about, I'm not going to, I don't want his name on a letter. I don't want him getting any credit. So you're playing political games with people's lives. So now that delayed us from getting what we want, and we still didn't get what we want. We got a measly Mitch McConnell's deal, $600. Got my $600. That thing going already on rent. Didn't last at all. It's gone already. We want everything. They're sending you a lightweight message. How they did it may be wrong. Vandalism is wrong. Vandalism is a crime. If you're going to do stupid stuff like that, you got to just understand you're going to get caught, you're going to go to jail. Now, if you got a gang of people willing to go to jail, and if you feel like that's the only way you can send your message because they're not listening to you, then, hey, you got to do what you do. I mean, we got on buses, we boycott, we got in the street, we shut stuff down, and we went to jail for it. And when you're protesting, you got to be willing to go to jail for it. Now, I don't know how long these people going to get for vandalizing Nancy's home or Mitch's home, but they did get the message across. This say 2000 cancel rent UBI, which means they want a universal basic income. We should be getting income coming in every month. Now, since then, Nancy Pelosi put plastic garbage bags over the message. Why are you covering the message, Nancy? Why don't you just paint it? Take the message as is. Because I'm going to put this on my Facebook group. Because these people do deserve $2,000 cancel a month, UBI, and they do deserve the cancel rent, and you need to cancel debt payment until after you need to just do a quantitative easing and get rid of the debt. More important, you need to be pushing Medicare for all in the middle of a crisis, not the reinstitution or re-implementation of Obamacare. Nancy Pelosi is worth $120 million. Now her husband is an investor. They got all kind of real estate assets, stocks, private assets. She's one of the richest women in Congress. Her salary is $223,000 because of her speakership. As long as she's speaker, she's making $223,000 a year. Her net worth is $120 million. She's 3 times more wealthy than Mitch McConnell. Right now, currently, they're doing a hashtag force the vote. Progressives are feeling queasy. Uncomfortable, uneasy, denying her the speakership. Man, you better be happy to deny her the speakership because she put us in the position that we're in right now way before Mitch. Mitch is always Mitch. He's always a bill killer. He's always a butthole. He's always been a Scrooge. What do you expect? That's nothing new from Mitch, but you had an opportunity to have leverage over Mitch, and she wiped her butt with it. It's just like Bernie Sanders had the opportunity to have leverage over Mitch when it came to the military spending. And 41 Democrats took it away from Bernie Sanders and wiped their butt with it. And now, where's your leverage to get Mitch to do anything? The people who you think are your friends are really your enemies. I want to show you something concerned about Nancy Pelosi. Give me a moment, because she was all in for Medicare for all. We're going to talk about her today, because I do not think she should be speaker. She failed. She's been speaker for over 10 years. What has she done for you? Oh, she got us Obamacare. Oh, you mean she got you Mitt Romney care? Mitt Romney care, a Republican health care plan.
Dave Chappelle said it best in one of his Instagram specials. He said, don't come between the way a man eats. And I think that's what Congress is in a position to do. So many people are about to lose benefits. They can't pay their rent. And there's this infighting over the stimulus package. What do you say to people who know that the GOP is prioritizing business? They're willing to make a compromise by sacrificing money to state and local jurisdictions. But they say, I don't give a damn what's happening on Congress. My kids can't eat. I can't pay my mortgage. I can't pay my rent. What do you say to those people who are wondering why you're holding the line on something when they have less than nothing?
Well, Tiffany, first, I think it's important to acknowledge that this GOP-led Senate have been obstructionist in every way. They have prioritized approving some 222 federal far-right-leaning judges and carrying the water for
which Mr. McConnell helped fast track
to delegitimize free and fair elections and to acknowledge that their president was decisively defeated. So they have been unpatriotic because they have not centered and prioritized the American people. If they can approve a $740 billion NDAA package, then we should be providing direct relief to the American people. And that is in the form of cash, reoccurring payments. At this point, they're not even stimulus payments. They are survival checks. Americans under the weight of unprecedented food insecurity, unemployment, an eviction tsunami that is looming, all in the midst of a pandemic. When I ask them, if we get this cash to you, how will you spend it? They say for diapers, for insulin, for inhalers, for rent, for groceries. And so this Democratic majority-led House has never lost sight of what's most important, and that is mitigating this hurt and meeting the scale and scope of this crisis. So these are not people that we can negotiate with in good faith, and they have been the obstructionists at every turn, prioritizing profit over people.
So you got Ayanna Pressley. You got Ayanna Pressley, a woman that ran for Massachusetts Senate seat, who the Democratic Party wasn't even willing to support. They were supporting that Kennedy boy. Bernie Sanders came to the rescue. Nina Turner came to the rescue and decided to run her for office. Justice Democrat came to her rescue. Former Hillary Clintonite. Did all that work, Kate's and Hillary Clinton, but in the DCCC said, we're not funding you. We don't want you to run. We have our pick for that position. Kiss rocks and kick rocks. And she almost kicked rocks until she came to our revolution. Now you're part of the squad, Ayanna Pressley. You got half of the squad up there. My thing is, you want to blame all this on the Republicans when you guys got blame in it too. You had the opportunity to pressure the woman that you gave the speakership to. You had the opportunity to pressure her to take the deal, and you didn't. You had the opportunity to force her to take the freaking deal, and you didn't do it. Ro Khanna did it. Andrew Yang did it. But you guys sat there and, I don't want to offend Mama Bear. Who gives a crap about Nancy? Nancy Pelosi, her popularity is worse than Trump. Her popularity is in the 20s. Most America thinks she's horrible. And the same thing go with Mitch McConnell. And that's why these people are being aggressive, letting them know that they don't appreciate the way they handle the affairs of the American people, because that's clearly what this is. This is not the affairs of America. It's the affairs of the American people. The American people make up this country. And when you taking off your drawers and open up your butt cheeks and take a wet diarrhea poop on Americans, they ain't going to appreciate that. Nancy did that, playing politics right before the election. And now Mitch McConnell, he's used to doing this. He's on Metamucil. That old fart, all he can do is poop wet doo-doo. He's forever doodling wet doo-doo on people. So what you got to do is you got to get an umbrella because the wet doo-doo is coming. When you give it to Mitch McConnell, he's going to open up his butt cheeks and poop out wet doo-doo on you. And you got to get an umbrella. And your umbrella is leverage. Bernie Sanders had the leverage to tell Mitch McConnell, no, I'm not voting on this defense spending until you vote on this first. I'm not asking you to vote yes, because we know you ain't going to vote yes. Do the American thing and put it up for a freaking vote, dude. Let each one of us go on record whether we're voting on this or not. But no, punk Democrats, 41 of them, and most of the punk Republicans, I think it was 100 and something, whatever, it's in the hundreds, all sided with Mitch McConnell and then side with Bernie Sanders to force Mitch McConnell for a full vote because they don't want to be exposed for the crooks that they are. Folks, this ain't no freaking game. Y'all crying about them spray painting somebody's doggone house and these people sitting up here playing with your freaking life. If Trump wouldn't have signed this $600 bill, people would have been, they wouldn't be getting a stimulus check. People would be getting kicked out right now to this very day, and it would have been havoc on the freaking streets. And like him or not, you got to give the credit due. Y'all want to say he held this up. He's actually, if it wasn't for him, and I don't like getting Trump no credit, but if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even be talking about $2,000. Whether he's serious or not, we wouldn't be talking about $2,000 if it wasn't for him. But he brought it back to debate, and we're still debating it to this day. He's going out. You might as well go out with a bang. You know, messed up the whole 4 years. You might as well go out with a bang. It's the least thing you can do. Hear the squad talking about what the Republicans are doing and not talking about what the Democrats are doing. And the reason we supposed to have the Justice Democrats, the reason you're supposed to have them in office is to talk about what the party is, not only Republicans, but what your own party is doing. This ain't no game, people. This is not a game. Nancy Pelosi was all for Medicare for all. Then she started changing her tune. Fair use. This is Nancy Pelosi speaking with Harvard.
Firstly, thank you so much for your speech. I was going to start off by asking, so your role as Speaker involves getting your party, getting your caucus to vote in a particular way and sort of getting bills to be passed through the House of Representatives. I was wondering, for example, with the example of the Healthcare Act, if you could talk us through what the process was, how you did that, how you got so many people on board to getting that bill eventually passed into legislation.
Thank you, Joseph, for your question. Try to be brief because I know we want to hear from our friends in the audience as well, and I'm so happy that so many of you are here. When President Obama became president, and we're so proud of our great president of the United States.
Here we go with the kissing.
When he became president, his presentation was about putting forth a budget for our country that reduced the deficit, lowered taxes on the middle class, and created jobs in 3 pillars. One was education and innovation, because innovation begins in the classroom, and our competitiveness and job creation was directly related good paying jobs, to education. Second was health care. 4 million jobs will come from the Affordable Care Act, and it was necessary, well, I'll talk more about that in a second, get back to it. And third was energy independence and green technologies, innovation once again. That would be about 2 million jobs in that initiative for him. So it was job creating on top of the 3.5 million jobs that were saved or created in the American, what we call ARA, the American Reinvestment and Recovery Act. So it was about jobs, 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 jobs in every way. For some of us who had been in Congress a longer time than President Obama and welcomed his initiative to make health care a right for everyone in America, not just a privilege for a few.
Now, that right there is enough for me to stop all that bull crap. Now, credit was credit to Obama did help produce jobs. He lowered the unemployment, and if it wasn't for the mechanism that he used, Trump wouldn't have nothing to brag about because he's bragging about Obama's achievement when it comes to the job situation. But you cannot say health care is a human right when most folks can't afford it. See, I have a right to an attorney. Most people can't afford an attorney, so what they do, they go to a free attorney. So health care is a right for the people who cannot afford the costly health care. They should be able to go to a free system. But we don't have one. She opted out for that system. She opted out for Mitch McConnell, not Mitch McConnell, but she opted out for the Heritage Foundation, Massachusetts, Mitt Romney healthcare system go national. Obama did not come up with Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act. He took that template of Mitch McConnell, not Mitch McConnell, but Mitt Romney care. He took the model of Mitt Romney Care, which was successful in lowering the cost of health care insurance in Massachusetts, getting millions to buy into it who could not buy into it, and he decided to make it go national, not only to appease to people who can afford it, but to appease to the Republicans, because the Republicans knew where that came from. They knew it came from the Heritage Foundation. They knew it came from Mitt Romney. They knew Obama, who himself said he's a moderate Republican. His views are moderate Republican views. They're not left. They're moderate Republican. He took that, decided to make it go national, and made it available for everybody. But you can't call it a human right if people don't have the right money to participate in it. That is the problem with healthcare, and that's why in this season, in this time, today, you got to be aggressive about getting it voted in. See, what pissed me off about here in New York, as a union organizer, I went out to janitors, I went out to security officers, wheelchair workers, people who work on mechanics, people who clean airplanes. I went to them with this purple card telling them to support the Healthcare Terminal Act, the Healthy Terminal Act. The Healthy Terminal Act provide low-cost health insurance for those airport workers. I was also involved with the fight to get the minimum wage up to $19 in year 2023 at the airport. Everybody at the airport, it doesn't matter what kind of job you're doing at the airport, you're going to start off making $19 an hour. We're successful. Bypass the airline industry, bypass the vendors at the airport, went straight to Port Authority, did the deal with them. Port Authority got it now that if you're not going to provide these wages, you can't have your business here at this airport. Very successful at that. We finally got the Healthcare Terminal Act. Then I thought about it, and I got pissed off because the governor took 6 months to sign the Healthy Terminal Act, which you would think is a good thing. But when you think about it, he got Medicare for All on his desk right next to the Healthy Terminal Act. See, the Healthy Terminal Act is only going to serve those people who work at the airport. They get fired or lose their job, they don't have it no more. He went all out to provide health care for the people at the airport, but he got a policy on his desk that was already voted on, already passed, that sits on his desk called Medicare for All New Yorkers. Which means it doesn't matter who you are, whether you got benefits or not, you ain't got to worry about health care. If you want to pay for your own health care, fine, but you ain't got to worry about it. You'll fall automatically on the free health care. Now, that is what you call a human right. Nancy Pelosi punked out. And to this day, she is trying to carry water for Obamacare. One of the main reasons why Trump denied and Mitch McConnell denied that $3 trillion is because in the bill, she was trying to push measures that Donald Trump fought to get out. What makes you think he's going to put that back in when he did all that work to get it out? And that's why there was no deal. That's why they had to lower the 2.2, and she still had in the 2.2 trillion the same measures concerning re-implementing or restoring fully Obamacare. Trump ain't gonna ever restore Obamacare as long as he's in office. He hate that thing. Why would he do that? Now, what Trump was for, he claimed, he ran on, he's a big fat liar, but he ran on Medicare for all, and people bought into it. And if Nancy Pelosi get off her high horse and start pushing Medicare for all like she did back in the day, we can get some stuff done. I'm looking at Governor Cuomo. He'd rather give airport workers low-cost health care instead of no-cost health care. Why? Because he don't want to make it available for everybody. So when Governor Cuomo said, I think health care is American right, and he's got a bill on his desk where he can sign it and give every New Yorker health care, he's lying to you. He's gaslighting you. In other words, he's farting in your face and lighting a match. Here's Nancy gloating over Obamacare.
Social Security, and then Medicare, and now universal quality, affordable health care for all Americans.
Universal quality, affordable health care.
We are brought to this historic moment for our nation and our families because of the work of our three great chairmen of the committees in the House. Chairman Charlie Rangel of Ways and Means. Thank you, Mr. Rangel. Chairman Henry Waxman of the Energy and Commerce Committee. And I think that George Miller has a hearing. Chairman George Miller has a hearing, as do some of our other chairs and other members. They're in hearings because the work of Congress does not stop just because we have an important message to give to you. But I am very grateful for the cross-section of members that we have generationally, geographically, philosophically, in every way, from all of the committees of jurisdiction that worked on this legislation, and also members of the caucus who participated over and over again under the leadership of our chairman, John Larson, and our vice chair, Javier Becerra. So here we are for nearly a century. It's really over a century. Leaders of all political parties, starting over a century ago with President Theodore Roosevelt, have called and fought for health care and health insurance reform. Today, we are about to deliver on the promise of making affordable, quality health care available for all Americans, laying the foundation for a brighter future for generations to come. The Affordable Health Care for America Act is founded on key principles of American success: opportunity, choice, competition, and innovation. We have listened to the American people. We are putting forth a bill that reflects our best values and addresses our greatest challenges. And we are putting it online for all Americans to see. Here's what our health insurance reform legislation will mean to American families, workers, and the economy. Thank you, insurance companies of America.
Insurance companies are involved in this bill.
This is why this legislation is important. Affordability for our middle class. It lowers cost for every patient, reins in premiums, co-pays, and deductibles, limits out-of-pocket costs, and lifts the cap on what insurance companies cover each year. Affordability for the middle class, security for our seniors by strengthening Medicare, secures the financial stability and solvency of Medicare for years to come, provides seniors with better benefits and guaranteed access to their doctors. And in this legislation, we will immediately begin to close the donut hole.
All right, I'm done with this. You mean close the butthole? Because you're acting like buttholes. First of all, the main focus, what she just talked about, was middle class and seniors. When there's thousands that fall under the poverty line, how are they going to afford health care? So you're still giving them a tier plan. You're still giving them a tier plan. At first, it was the wealthy or people who got great jobs that negotiated great benefits. They're the only one got a chance to get some kind of decent health care, COBRA, you name it. Blue Cross Blue Shield, you name it. But what about the lower class? See, that's the thing about Obamacare couldn't cater to the lower class. Yes, it helped middle class people afford health insurance. Yes, it gave health insurance to seniors. Most seniors already had health insurance. The only thing they had was that donut hole. They had Medicare. When Nancy should have been pushing, continue to push, even after implementing them, because that's not a human right. Medicare for all. Making sure everybody have access to the same amount of health care as the elite and the wealthy. Now, if the elite want to go get a private doctor, whatever they want, whatever.
There are a couple of members you can point out who are weather vane members who will tell us exactly where this might be going, if we knew where they stood on this and what reservations they had.
All of them. So you see, what I don't take a big clump and say, well, I have 200 and some, I just have to get it to 18.
Right.
I start at one member at a time, listening respectfully to where they're coming from on it.
Do you have the votes at this moment?
We don't have the bill yet.
So your response always, any questions about do I have the votes, is I can't tell you.
Until we have the bill.
But my guess is I can't believe, and with as naive as I am, that you don't pretty much know how close it is, what you have to do to get some people to go from here to there.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, Nancy Pelosi understood. She just talked about it with Charlie Rose, that there is a point that I got to go through. There's certain things I got to do to get people to go from here to here. So all you progressives, the squad that sits in the House and even the members sits in the Senate, it is your duty, it is your moral duty to apply the pressure on Nancy Pelosi to get her to go from here to there. Because believe me, if she needs y'all to get something done, she know exactly how to pressure you to go from here to there. You have an opportunity right now, leverage, to get her to go from just talking about restoring Obamacare to pushing her to the point where she could put Medicare for everybody to a floor vote. To a floor vote. Whether people vote on it and say yes or no, whether you got the numbers or not, that's not the point. You should always start. There's a starting point, and your starting support point is right now. Before you hand her the speakership, you're supposed to be saying, look, we'd love to give you the speakership, Miss Nancy, Mama Bear. We'd love to give you the speakership, but I want to see how bad you want it. 75% of Americans need Medicare for all, and we don't even put it up for a floor vote. We can use this right now as a tool to call out every person that says no and run against them and primary them, number one, or run against them in a general election, whether it's for the Congress, the House, from local election all the way to the next presidency in 2024. We have an opportunity to put them on record. Put it to a floor vote. Make sure you're not on the bad side of that record. Move them from here to there. This is the only time you guys got, man. And for everybody that watched this show, you need to be calling their office. If you're close to their office, you need to be going to their office. I will be at AOC's office probably first thing in the morning if I can get my butt up. First thing in the morning, pressing her. Same thing with Jamal Bowman. Now, Jamal Bowman said, look, I'm not going to vote for her. Corey didn't vote for her. I don't know about Jamal. Jamal pushing reparations. Jamal, I appreciate that, bro. Push reparations. Push reparation. But don't let Nancy off the hook. Don't you dare not put the pressure on her to put Medicare for all to a floor vote. See, like I say, here in New York, we already done voted on it. Passed overwhelmingly. Sits on the desk of the governor. His lazy butt won't even sign it. Why? Because he don't want to upset his insurance buddies. Because New York is a big insurance state. New York and New Jersey is a big insurance state. On his desk, already done. All they have to do is sign it. You talking about a punk? You guys will be a punk if you sit there and give her free support. You don't ever give a politician a free support. They got to earn it. They got to make something in exchange for it, okay? I don't mind giving it to you. I need you to do this. If you're not willing to do this, $35 million. Home got hit. Mitch McConnell, you got $35 million and you can't give us $2,000 a month. You're killing poor people not only across the country, but in your own state. $120 million. High price ice cream in the refrigerator. $1 million house. I want $2,000 UBI, cancel rent. We want everything. They spray painted it on her garage door, not on her, like NWO. They threw a pig head and some blood in front of her. They went carry on her. When these people could have did worse. Could have did worse. Look, let me tell you something, people. There's many ways you can send a message. There's so many ways. There's many types of messages. You can start off soft. You can get to something strong. Let me tell you something. The Ku Klux Klan sent a message to us to try to strike fear in us by burning crosses in front of our house. When that wasn't enough, they threw Molotov cocktails in our house, burning up our house. Something we worked so hard for got burnt down. And when we tried to claim insurance, we had to go through hell and high water to claim that insurance just to get the house rebuilt. And y'all cry because Nancy Pelosi, I did do that to Nancy. I did do that to Nancy. I can see them doing that to bitch, but I did do that to Nancy. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? We're in the heat of a global pandemic that has resurged. They're not teaching early treatment. They're driving you over to a freaking vaccine that got problems. People's faces are being, one side of their face is being shut down or whatever. Now is the time for Medicare for all, Governor Cuomo. Now, you signing that Medicare, that act, great thing, but you need to go further and make sure everybody got health care. And everybody in New York need to be riding his behind, putting the heat on his behind for not signing something that's already on his desk. And he can't say we can't afford it. You can't afford it? Then go ahead and push the marijuana legislation. That'll bring enough income into the state of New York. You did it with homosexuality and gay marriage. You didn't do gay marriage because it was the right thing to do or the cordial thing to do or the moral thing to do. You weren't even thinking about that. You did it because you saw cha-ching in your eyes. I'm telling you now, and I'm done. Back in the olden days when the monarch brutalized the people, whenever the monarch monarch found himself in the midst of the people, it wasn't pretty for them. Did nobody take a can of spray paint and went Beach Street on them? No, they ain't do that. They took off their head, hung them, flogged them. I'm going to give you a spoiler. This is not a prediction. This is a spoiler. I'm going to let you know exactly what's going to happen. You keep playing around with people's money, Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, and any of you politicians up there who feel like you know what's best for the American people and you're doing what's best for the American people. You think it's about, let me understand this, the American people in the country of America are one and the same. Don't you dare put the land of America over the people of America. Because you got to understand, the land of America is not paying your salary. It's working people who get their pay deducted with IRS. They're paying your salary. They're the one paying for you to have the Cadillac healthcare plan. They're the one paying for your lunch. They're the one paying for your mortgage in Washington, D.C. and your mortgage. Now, you probably bought it with your wealth, but they are significant in you getting the things that you always gotten since you've been in Capitol Hill. The prestige, the fame, whatever came from them. And all they ask in return is when we go through a crisis, make sure you go overwhelmingly above what we can ask or think. Because when it's time for you to get funding, just about every freaking year when it's time for government funding for DC, you guys got a way of sticking a raise in there for you. All these people are asking for is two major things. Medicare for all in this crisis, and at least enough money, $2,000 a month, UBI, until this thing is over with. If you can't give them that, if you spit in the face telling them no, they can't have that. I mean, it's just like, I was married one time, and I'm known to give my wife all the money. And if, and whenever I need something, I say, baby, I need $20, $30, $40, go do something like that. One day she told me no. No. Hold up, I gave you my check. I don't bother you. I give you my check so you can pay the bills, woman. I don't bother you if you want to get some groceries out of that. If you want to go get a pair of shoes, I don't bother you. I work hard. You're my wife. I give you my entire check. I don't ask for your check. I go give you my entire check to take care of the bills. And when I need some socks, you going to tell me no? No? Over some $5 socks? Oh, divorce is coming. I can't have that. I got to get rid of you. Sorry, I'm not going to deal with that. I didn't divorce her. I started a side business, and the money I had for that side business was mine and mine only. And when she wanted some of them, I said, you better go look at that paycheck. Whatever you want, get it out that paycheck. My little side hustle, that's my money. You ain't getting none of that money, girl. Why? Because of what you did that day at Walmart when I needed a pair of socks. There was only $5, and I told you, baby, give me $5, and you're going to say, no, we got to do such and such and such and such. Fine. You'll never put me in that position. I'll go out here and make my own money. And whatever money I made to the side, I bought the little things I need. But guess what? I was still good enough to buy her something with my little hustle money. Still being a blessing. But let me tell you something. If I give you my full check and I work 40, 50, 60 hours to make that money, if I want some socks, you better give me the money to get them doggone socks. Or you ain't going to get the check. I can always say, no, you're not going to get the check. I'll pay the bills from this day forward. Or I'll give you money to pay a bill. But I'm not giving you my check. That was my decision to give her my whole entire check. I could have said, no more check, kiss my behind. Whatever you need, I'll give it to you out of my check. But I didn't do that. I gave her the check anyway and made some money, my own money on the side. Now, America, politicians, this country is not as nice as I was. These people are paying you a check. They're giving you money. They're giving you the hard-earned tax dollars to run this government to make them better, to do right by them. And when you don't do right by them, guess what they're going to do? They're going to clap back at you. The time of just protesting all pretty with the signs, I'm telling you, you made that difficult. You made it hard. We should be able to do a simple, peaceful protest to get the message to you, but you don't want to do it, do you? It's not enough for you. So guess what? You're going to have some people that's going to throw pig heads out there. You got some people that probably going to throw some doo-doo at your house. You're probably going to get some people that's going to catch you going down the street and throw doo-doo on you. People are pissed off, and fed up, and they're not going to be as nice as me. People tired of it. And I'm telling you, this is not a prediction. This is a spoiler. The days of kindly asking you is gone. The day of aggressively clapping back at you is here. So my advice is, whatever the American people in majority tell you they need and want, we elected you to give it to us. And if you don't, don't get mad. What may happen to you? Don't get mad. Now I'm not telling nobody to do nothing foolish. I just know how people are. I don't have the ability to tell people what to do anyway. Who am I? I just know how people are. People get frustrated. People do stupid stuff. And if you keep doing things to egg that on, not only they're gonna do stupid stuff, they're gonna do stupid stuff to you. I'm Rob Brown with the Rob Report. Y'all better get your stuff together. Y'all lucky your house is still standing, because there's some nutsos out there that ain't gonna take it, and they're gonna do something worse than that. They're gonna do what the Ku Klux Klan used to do to black people. They'll send a sign in front of your house. They may send a sign in your house. So I'm telling you, don't allow that to happen. Don't let that happen. Do right by the people. Do right by the people. And this probably get flogged because YouTube probably say I'm promoting. I ain't promoting none of this. I'm just telling you how people are. I don't promote no violence. I don't promote nobody doing no crime. And I'm telling y'all, don't you do none of that stuff. Robert Brown, Bob TV say, do not go out there throwing nothing. Do not go out there spray paint. Do not go out there. Do not be physically harming somebody, personal property, or harming them, period. You could do peaceful protests. That's my way of doing things. I just know how people are. People are fed up. And people are impatient. People not as patient as me. People are not as kind as me. And don't get mad when they do things that I normally would not do. Why? Because you egging them on. You're pressing them on. You point the finger. Mitch McConnell, you're daring people. You sitting up there daring people to bring it to you. What you gonna do about it? I denied you $2,000 a month. What you gonna do about it? It's people like me, people doing just like this right now. Oh, what I'm gonna do about it? What I'm gonna do about it? Bro, if you don't give me my $2,000, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do about it. They gonna treat you like that like Nino Brown? Y'all keep playing with people's emotions, man. Like Smokey on Friday said, you keep playing with my emotions. I mean, like Big Perm. Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi is Smokey. And Smokey, you're playing with my nerves. You know the story of the movie. Big Perm had people out there looking for Smokey. And anybody that was around Smokey was getting the same treatment. Politicians, y'all better stop being Smokey. and stop playing with Americans' people emotion.